So I hope that we can go towards the direction that you find a way to get into the Final Four of a World Cup again. Yeah, hello everyone from my side. First of all, I wanted to thank you for this amazing welcome 2 days ago at the airport at 5 a.m. in the morning. I saw many people coming and welcoming me, especially also from the federation, former players that are now part of important roles of the federation, and it was very overwhelming to get such a warm welcome. I'm very excited about coaching the Korean national team and helping alongside everyone at the federation and with my staff and with my people, hopefully to be successful, to make clear goals going forward, and hopefully bring a lot of enjoyment to everyone who loves football. Obviously my personal background was a striker, so I always love to attack. And that means I'd rather win a game 4-3 than 1-0. But at the end of the day, I think a coach always has to adapt his approach and his philosophy to the people that surround him, meaning mainly the players. So based on who you have as a player and what capabilities your team has, you need to adapt that philosophy to your approach. So for me, it's a huge learning curve now coming here to Korea, and to understand what is best for Korea, and to implement a philosophy that hopefully makes the team win and be successful. And we are only 10 months away from the Asian Cup in Qatar. So I need to learn quickly, and I'm confident to do that. So it's both sides. One is my part of adaptation to the philosophy that the people have here, and the other side is I can bring a lot to the table for hopefully make them confident enough to go to Qatar and win. It's very simple. Since my last coaching time with a club team in Germany, with Berlin, where I left after 3 months. I used that time basically for education because of COVID. So when COVID came, then I decided to go back to school, and I got my master's degree in business, and I worked for FIFA for 1.5 years for the technical study group, working the Arab Cup, working the FIFA World Club Cup, working obviously the World Cup now in Qatar, and I worked for BBC at the Euros in 2021. I worked for ESPN in America. So constantly I was connected to the game, even if I was not coaching during COVID. Well, the initial contact, I've always been in contact with the president of the Korean Federation, Moon Kyu. I know him since a long time. I was here in 2017 for the Under-20 World Cup because my son played for the USA team. And so we know each other a long time. And I saw him in Qatar during the World Cup. I also in Qatar during the World Cup, one of my team members for the technical study group was Duri Cha. And so we watched all Korean games obviously at the World Cup, and we always discussed the team during the World Cup, because obviously Duri, his main team for him to cheer for is the Korean team. And then after the World Cup we got in touch again and we started to talk, and obviously the Korean Federation talked to several coaches and went through their normal interviewing process. And with every week, basically, we had more exchange of ideas and knowledge and approaches. And so step by step, we came then to the conclusion that we want to work together, which is very exciting. To start with, will be a mix of obviously coaches from Europe and here from Korea. So maybe starting with Duri Cha. Duri, because he's still, in charge of his work at FC Seoul, will become basically a technical advisor to the Korean national team, to me, because for me Duri is very, very important to connect me with the K-League, with the coaches in the K-League, with the people here, with all the things that are established here in Korea. So it's a very important person to have on the side when I need him. Then I will also have Michael Kim, who was already, with Paulo Bento in the staff. And then from Europe, I will bring my former assistant coach, and he was head coach of Israel just lately, Andreas Herzog, with me. Then I bring a coach who is very, very specialized in the Italian Serie A and close to, obviously, Kim in Napoli, Paolo Stringara as a helper. And as a goalkeeper coach, I will bring with Andreas Köpke, who was for 17 years the goalkeeper coach of Germany. And then I will bring in a fitness coach as well. Fitness coach's name is Werner Leuthardt. And he was with me in Berlin. He was with many other coaches in Germany. He worked in England in the Premier League, in Austria, Switzerland, Germany, Bundesliga, very experienced. I was lucky to not only play 3 World Cups, 3 European Championships. I played the Olympics here in Seoul, and so I had many tournaments in my active career, but then also coaching in the tournaments. And the tournaments I did not coach, I was there all the time for all television, or now, for example, with FIFA and still television. You learn a lot about every country's kind of roots and characteristics. And when you go deeper in these characteristics of every country, you try to find the connections basically from how the team plays to how the people are in this specific country. And I think the Korean history, at least over the last, and there are some that played in your national team, that is fascinating to see basically the path of success, or maybe sometimes not so much success. And to learn about that, I mean the characteristics, I think Korean team was always very, very competitive, always. Always with a lot of hunger and resilience. Okay, that word? Yeah. So no matter in what competition, it was difficult to beat Korea. On the flip side, meaning a bit the other side, I think sometimes when I watched it together, now in Qatar, for example, together with Duri Cha, we watched it together, I wish there was sometimes more belief, something more confidence to actually go even further than you end up going. And this is something that is in many nations, because you have if you look at Argentina or Brazil or Spain, or not Germany in the last 2 World Cups, but in 2014, it has a lot to do with the confidence to go all the way till the end. And this is something hopefully I can help with, in order to bring more belief, to say not only passing the group stage, but hopefully going further than only the next round. This is our goal. And I will learn a lot from you, and hopefully I can give a lot to everyone here, and especially the team. Yeah, obviously as a former Tottenham player, I watch almost all the games from Tottenham. And so I'm a big fan of Sonny, there's no doubt. He had a very difficult World Cup because he was not 100% healthy. And it's I saw all the games, and I felt for him. But I think this is a normal period that every player goes through, little up and downs, and also the situation sometimes at Tottenham is not so easy. I hope that I'm going to see him in 2 weeks, and he comes with a smile and is hungry for the national team. And I mean, obviously, when I get then the chance to meet all the players, and I spend most of my time talking to players. This is a key role in the way I approach coaching a team is communication with players. So then I will get to know him much better, and I hope I can give him the encouragement and the motivation to enjoy himself. And in whatever role and however he plays then on the field, that is down to those conversations. You figure it out when you talk to the players, what is everyone's best role and how you can cover each other up. But I'm really looking forward to him. Yeah, I think that's very normal. You know, when you coach 25 players, that every player wants to have different focuses on the training sessions. A striker would like to do more shooting exercises, a midfielder wants to do passing exercises, and maybe Philipp wanted to do more tactical shifting and movement, and so that's very normal. These comments is totally fine. I mean, I think, you know, when I'm now probably 40 years in professional football, you know, when you see young players, even if you see children play, I think you have developed an eye of identifying the technical skill set, you know, the smartness of a player within 10 minutes. So no matter if it's a kid or under 20 player, like our under 20 plays right now, important games, or if it's a national team player, it's just something that naturally comes for everyone that stays in the football for so long. What I especially look at once, you know, you identify the technical, you know, capabilities of a player, I look at the character, at the body language, at if he's confident, if he's not scared, and all these elements, you know, and obviously it all has to fit at the end of the day, if he's good in a team environment, because the team is always more important than an individual.
Can you promise you will not going to do some kind of stuff like this?
Yeah, I think, you know, every day you learn, you know. So when you make maybe a mistake, like I did a mistake when I left Berlin and announced it basically, or explained it through social media, would I do it again today? No. But I think this is also part of experiences. You know, not everything that you decide every day, if you make 10 decisions, will be 10 right decisions. So that will be always a mistake that you do, but obviously you have to limit them. So if it's one bad decision a day out of 10, then I think it's okay. So I'm very happy that it didn't pass this limit in 1994 with a third goal, because you were very close to score this third goal against Germany. We were very lucky to get away with 3-2 in that game in Dallas in 1994. So I hope so. I hope that we are capable, you know, to score maybe more than 2 goals in a game. Absolutely. Yeah. First of all, Paulo Bento did a fantastic job from the outside, what I could see from the outside. And so the elements that he implemented that are all, you know, good and positive, I definitely will discuss with the team and the players. And if we keep those elements, then we keep those. It needs all to fit together with also the players' ideas, and it was most importantly the older players, you know, to talk to them. But it is important to stay consistent, you know, continue a certain path, and I absolutely don't mind to continue this type of approach. Okay, well, I don't know now the ideas that Uli Stielike, who I know really well, but I don't know what he kind of experienced, so I definitely can ask him about that. So I will make my own experiences, I will have my own kind of ideas and conversations with a lot of people here to learn what is hopefully the right way to do it. So I cannot comment on what he then said. Nowadays, it's a global work. You know, obviously I'm going to be here majority of my time here in Korea. That's because I'm the head coach, but I have experts that I need in other places. So when I tell the European-based coaches to go to watch Napoli or to go watch Tottenham or Mallorca, so they have to do their work then there. So it's no problem. But obviously when we are with the team, they're all here with the team and spend their time here as well. So nowadays with, you know, communication, it's no problem to have 10 coaches at the same time in a Zoom call. and discuss every player up and down for 5 hours. So you're not needed to be right here now to do the job. You're needed to be where your players are. So we will spread all over. Duri and I and Michael Kim, we will go to many K-League games, and I'm looking forward to meet the coaches of the K-League. And Andreas will watch games maybe in Freiburg or in Mainz. Paolo will go to Napoli, and so on. This is the way a national team nowadays operates. It's normal. But you will all meet them. It's very simple, because as a coach, you basically get measured by the games, by the results, and no coach in the world, if he has negative results over time, will stay in his job. So it's just normal that you will judge the coaching staff, and especially the head coach, based on the games you're going to see in the near future time. And then hopefully I convince you that that we're all on the same kind of page and and we all go in the right direction. No, maybe that first, I don't know, I leave that up to you to put the scores, out of 100. But I think that through life and through experiences, and no matter if the experiences are positive, and I had a lot of positive ones and I had negative ones, we all learn. So I don't think that you are always the same then anymore. You're a different person than 2 years ago, you're a different person than 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because you constantly learn. And I think this is the beauty of football, is that it's an area where you learn a lot from other people around the world. And I was very lucky, very fortunate, that I could play in different countries, and I could live in different countries and learn a lot about different people. And for me, coming here, I feel privileged to have this opportunity. I'm very ambitious for this opportunity. But also confident and do a really good job. And as I said before, the job will be measured on results. And I said, when I had these couple of questions on when I flew into Incheon, I said the goal is to win the Asian Cup. So you can measure me on that goal. And this is the beauty of a result-driven environment, is you got to deliver results. So hopefully we get them for you. Well, I think goal setting, having goals to work for, are very important, and also to communicate that to your team and live this type of thought with your team. Every time you meet now over the next 10 months, always to mention that and to give them a goal. Because in sports, obviously, you want to win trophies. You want to win something that you can kind of be proud of for the rest of your life. So I think to set clear goals is important. Then obviously the Asian Cup is more short-term, because it's already in 10 months. And then you go into World Cup qualifying, and then you set goals for the next World Cup once you're qualified. And I think based on your history, on Korean history, and the fact that you were already in a semi-final in 2002 when you hosted the World Cup, and I was here in 2002, you should set your goal high, and tell your players that these are high goals but doable goals. So I hope, that we can go towards the direction that you find a way to get into the Final Four of a World Cup again. To reside here is normal, because I'm the head coach of Korea. So I was very lucky in my life that football took me from one country to another. I first went to Italy, then to France, then to England, then back to Germany, then back to Italy, then to America, because I met a beautiful girl in California. So, so you travel throughout your life, and for me now, coming here and getting the opportunity to live here and experience your culture and your country and your people is something very exciting for me. That was the fact that we go to FC Seoul on Sunday is just the calendar, the K-League basically presents itself. So there's no specific reason. We will go to all the places over time, one game at a time. There was no specific reason for it. I cannot evaluate K-League yet. I need to go and see games and learn about the K-League. So cannot say that today. But hopefully in a couple of months we have that conversation again. I think for the upcoming games against Colombia and against Uruguay, it is important to honor and to respect the roster that played a very good World Cup in Qatar. So we focus on the players that were in Qatar, the roster that was in Qatar, as the foundation for that game, as the roster. I mean, obviously, by watching 4 games from Korea, you have a specific idea. You think, you saw quite some detailed things, but all the details that I've seen and I discussed, I would not now discuss here in front of the media. For me, the most important part is to get to know the players, to meet them, to have conversations with the players, to build the staff then together, both European and Korean side together. So there's a lot of talking now involved the next 2-3 weeks before I would talk about the details that I see in the Korean teams. That is not the right time to do that. I think you learned a lot in Qatar about the quality of Asian teams because they've done all very well. So no qualifying period is easy. So it's a lot of work and you have to make sure that you get your points in order to qualify to the World Cup. Even if the World Cup goes now up to 48 teams in the United States, Mexico and Canada, but still, you have to be really focused to get qualifications done. Now, I will learn, obviously, over the next months and this time period, hopefully long time period, a lot about more Asian teams that I saw before, because mainly I saw them in World Cups. But I had the same learning curve when I coached for 6 years the United States, to learn about their region and about their teams and their qualifying processes. So I hope I'm a quick learner.